Hello, it's Ashley with At Home with Ashley, and today we're doing a new project. So my favorite movie in probably the whole world is Little Women, the 1994 version, and there is a part where Laurie gives Joe a mailbox and it's house shape, and every time I watch it, I'm like, I want a house shaped mailbox. And this time I watched it, I told my husband, he's like, yeah, let's make it. So that's what we're doing. Our normal mailbox is fine. Like, there's nothing bad about it, but I want everything house shaped in my life. So that's what we're doing starting today. To begin, we're going to cut the wood for the mailbox, and we're going to start with our side pieces, and those are going to be each 12 inches tall. We're going to cut them with the table saw, and then we are going to cut the tops of the sides on a 45-degree angle, and that's so the roof can hit it at a 45-degree angle. And I am using house siding for the sides of the mailbox because that's what I had on hand. And then we're going to cut the sides 19 inches long on the table saw. For our base piece, we have a bit of lumber, and we are cutting that 8 inches wide on the table saw. And then once that's cut to size, we are trimming it 19 inches long on the miter saw. Okay, let's move on to cutting the pieces for the roof. So the first roof piece is going to be 8 inches wide, cut that on the table saw, then take it to the miter saw and cut it 21 inches long on the miter saw. So this is a little bit longer than the side, so there is an overhang. Next, we're going to cut the second roof piece 7 1/4 inches wide on the table saw, and again, we're going to cut it so it is 21 inches long on the miter saw. So next we need to cut some support pieces. Because I'm using thinner outdoor siding on the side pieces, they need support pieces for the roof to attach to. So cut the support beams on a 45-degree angle on the table saw so they are 1.5 inches tall. Then use the miter saw to cut both support beams to 17.5 inches long. Okay, so now we're going to start putting our DIY house-shaped mailbox together. So to do that, start with the roof. You're going to use some corner clamps to hold them in place. The longer board should go on top with a smaller board under it. And then once they're put together, they're going to look exactly the same length. So when it's all lined up, screw the two roof pieces together. Next, attach the sides to the base. Raise the base of the mailbox up about 1/4 of an inch by resting it on another board. This makes it so that when you put it on the mailbox beam outside, when you mount it, it makes it a little more sturdy. So pre-drill and drive 5 screws through each side of the bottom of the 1 inch by 12 inch by 19 inch side pieces into the base 1 by 8 inch piece. Attach the support beams to the inside top of the sides with 3/4 inch long screws. So you're going to drill in 4 screws to hold the support beams to the side pieces. Use clamps to hold them in place so they don't move when attaching the screws. And put an 8 inch wide spacer board on top. Keep the base square with corner clamps on the bottom. Next, you're going to attach the roof to the sides. Center the roof onto the wall of the mailbox. Clamp an 18 inch spacer board onto the top of the mailbox so the sides will be straight. Drill a 1 1/4 inch screw in through the roof. It'll go through the side piece and support piece, and you're going to do 4 screws for each side of the roof. So now that the mailbox is mostly put together, we can see how big we need to make the front and the back piece. These are the trickiest ones to cut, but we know we need to make it 15 1/8 inch long, so we're going to use the table saw to cut the lumber to that length, and then we're going to find the center and the top and use a speed square to draw a 45-degree angle from the top center to the sides. The sides should measure 11 1/8 inches from the bottom, so then you're going to use a miter saw to cut the angle in the top. So move your miter saw over to a 45-degree angle, cut one side, and then flip it and do the other side to get the house shape for the front and the back piece. Put the back piece of the mailbox in place. If it doesn't fit, trim it down until it does. Then you can screw it into place. For the front door piece, dry fit it to see how it fits. It'll probably need to be cut a little bit smaller, about a 1/16 of an inch smaller than the back piece, so it'll open and close easily. Remember, this is the part where you will open it so your mail will go in. So if needed, cut down the sides so it'll fit nicely. You can also cut down the bottom as well. And you do want to remember that you need space in the bottom for hinges, so you should definitely cut down that part. Okay, we built the mailbox yesterday, and my gosh, it is cute. I'm just overly obsessed with the house shape in general. So now today what we're going to do is we are going to start on the finished work. We're going to route in the doors and the windows and do some painting. So to begin, place a door on the mailbox door. I'm putting mine at the bottom and centering it. Measure halfway over on the mailbox and mark with a pencil where that is and put the door on the center mark and trace around the door. Now it's time to make an indent in the wood so the door can sit inside the wood so it looks like a dollhouse. For the door, use a router to cut the wood everywhere where the door will go, where you traced with a pencil. The door and its trim needs lots of space to sit in the wood door. It's a lot of routing. It takes a while. Make sure to have a vacuum close by to clean up all the wood chips. This is a messy step, but it is really fun to see how the door looks routed in. Next, place the windows where they will go on the mailbox side. 2 fit on each side. Each window sits nicely 3.5 inches up from the bottom of the mailbox. Mark the center of the window, put the window on the center mark, and trace around the window. Do this for all the windows. For the windows, we're using a rotary tool to indent the wood just around the frame where the window will go. The window only needs a small spot for the window frame to sit in, especially since they kind of sit on top of the shutters. And while my husband was doing that, I was prepping the mailbox for paint. To begin, I filled any screw holes with wood filler, and once the wood filler is dry, I sanded it smooth. To add color to the doors, windows, and trim, I am painting them beloved pink in an exterior paint. This will look like the outside of my house, which I think will be so cute. Each piece needs 2 coats of paint. The windows are very annoying to paint. Each side of the window panes needs to be painted. Plus, they all need 3 coats of the white stain. For this project, I am using exterior paint and stain for everything so it'll hold up as long as possible. And I've just found that stain stays on longer than paint, so that's what I'm using for these windows. Okay, I'm going to give you a sneak peek of how the mailbox is looking now that everything is routed in. And tomorrow we will do more of this finish work to get it closer to being done. It's day 3 of the dollhouse mailbox. Let's get working. Apply caulk into all the seams of the mailbox. Do this before attaching the door to make it a little bit easier, even though it kind of sucks getting in all the cracks. Finally, let's start staining the mailbox body. I'm using an exterior stain for this project to give the DIY mailbox the longest chance of survival as possible. I don't want this falling apart. Paint the mailbox any color inside and out that you want. I went with a solid white stain, and I'll be honest, partway through staining this, I regretted this project, or just maybe the product I used, because it takes 4 coats of stain for full coverage, and it was tedious covering everything. Once the mailbox and door are painted, the door can be attached to the mailbox. To do that, use 2 small hinges to connect the door to the mailbox. And then you also want to add a magnetic catch to the mailbox and door, screwed into place on the support beam. This will keep the door from flopping open in the wind. To be able to open the mailbox door, you need some sort of knob, so I'm just using a wood one. Next, I'm using construction adhesive to attach the door, like the little mini door on the mailbox door, and it's looking so cute. Stain the roof. For mine, it was already stained because we're reusing wood that was already in my house, so I'm just staining the wood filler and the cut edges. To finish up the day, I'm adding shingles to the roof. I take the ruler and mark the roof every 1 inch with a pencil. I work from the bottom and go up. Then I apply construction adhesive in a thin bead right below the pencil line. One by one, I put on the shingles, making sure to line the top of each one with a pencil line. I'm going to be honest with you, I thought I would be further along with my dollhouse mailbox, my house-shaped mailbox, whatever you want to call it, than I am. And here's the thing, it's just taking a while, like all the detailed stuff, because it's so little, I don't know what it is, but there's lots of details I'm adding in to make it look good. It's taking a while. I think it'll be worth it. Let's finish up the mailbox today. For the window background, I'm going to paint that a soft blue. I want to give it a little bit of contrast so you can see it behind the windows, and it'll just look more like a house this way. Since the roof is fully shingled and the glue is dry, I'm going to stain the shingles to give them extra protection from the elements. So I am just applying the stain with a paintbrush, and then I'm going back with a stain pad and drying up any of the extra, and I think it looks great. For the windows, I'm using construction adhesive to glue on the shutters, and then I'm also using construction adhesive for the windows and push them into the opening. Some of the windows had a hard time fitting because all the paint kind of gunks up, so we had to like go back in with the rotary tool and clean that up, which was annoying. So I kind of wish I hadn't painted inside those openings at all. I thought I was weatherproofing it, but I was just making it so they didn't fit, so that was a mistake. On the door, I used construction adhesive to glue on a little brass doorknob. Isn't it so cute? It kind of put on too much, and then it was a pain to clean, but still worth it because that little bit of brass looks amazing. Then I'm using construction adhesive to apply this scallop trim to the top and sides of the mailbox. So the scallop trim is kind of getting lost in the roof overhang, so I have a little piece of filler trim I'm gluing on first before the scallop trim so that you can see it. So my trim needs to be a little bit smaller, so I am cutting it with an X-Acto knife on the cutting mat. Every mailbox needs a mailbox fly, so I just bought a replacement from the hardware store and attached it to the side of the mailbox. Caulk anywhere there are gaps around the windows and the door, then touch up the paint and cover the caulk once it's dry because the caulk will get dirty and the paint will be able to be cleanable when the caulk will not be. Then we took the mailbox outside, we took off the old one and screwed the new one in its place. And I've got to say, this mailbox is so cute. It's so cute. We were bringing it out and I was like, is this the cutest mailbox I've ever seen? I think it turned out really good. Let me show you. Okay, so there you have it. I love that it matches my little library. It matches my house behind it. I think it's really cute from the street. My husband's like, maybe somebody's gonna hit it with a bat because it's so cute. Like, it kind of grabs your attention. So, knock on wood, I hope that doesn't happen. I love how the roof turned out. I love the texture and the wood tones with the white house and the pink door and the pink windows. I added a little bit of mint onto the door. I added a little bit of mint onto the pool, the knob, because I thought that looked really cute. Like, all those colors are looking so cute together. And I'm just thrilled with it. And I want to know what you think. Do you think it's the cutest mailbox of all time? Do you think it does justice to the Little Women inspiration? I hope so. I know it doesn't exactly look like that, but it's house shaped. It matches my house. It looks so cute outside. But yeah, let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'd love to answer them. And if you like this video, please make sure to give it a thumbs up so I know to make more like it. And if you're not already, please subscribe.